r/AskReddit by Reddify. What's the most overrated tourist attraction in your country? Times Square has to be the lamest thing you can do in New York City. Oh look. A bunch of chain stores. Sweet. The Olive Garden in Times Square has a seafood grade rating. It is in some serious prime real estate. Most pizza hole in the wall pizza places in Manhattan have a B at the very worst. Also the cartoon costume people. Oof. Good place to change trends though. I really can't understand why so many tourists flock to Madame Tussauds. You've come all the way to one of the most vibrant cultural cities in the world. And you're going to spend several hours queuing to see a mannequin dressed like Princess Diana? My dad went. I think to prove he looks like Bruce Willis. He has a picture of him and the Bruce Willis there and loves it. He doesn't look like Bruce Willis. He's just slim and bald. My friends tell me I look like Audrey Hepburn. Plymouth Ducking Rock. It's just a ducking rock. There is nothing special about it. It looks like all the other normal rocks out there. What? It has carving on it. What are the odds that they'd land on the exact rock that had the very year they were sailing carved on it? William Bradford was here 1620 = P. San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf. With a name like that, you're probably imagining fresh seafood restaurants or fishing boats. Instead, what you'll find are a bunch of tourist trap shops selling cheap souvenirs. Those souvenirs ain't cheap. Expensive cheap souvenirs. People hate on Belgium because Mannequin Pies is such a damn tiny, unremarkable statue. Funny thing is, that statue was never meant to become a tourist attraction. It's just a little fountain like there are hundreds in any city. It became famous because it's pretty unique and humorous. And that's how it started receiving all its attention. So now all our tourists hear about the statue and expect it to be something huge and significant with the ends of history. Well nope. Should have done your research. You can't go visit thing A, expect it to be thing B, and then be pissed because your expectations weren't met. The €1 waffles next to it are the true attraction. And the fries. Oh man, those fries. And there's a beer shop with like a gazillion brands in 1 minute walking distance as well. Wall Drug. If you drive across South Dakota on the way to Mount Rushmore and the Black Hills, you see billboards, hundreds of billboards for the place. It's just a cheesy little tourist stop. But hey, free ice water is free ice water. Wall Drug is one of my favorite memories. We were going on an RV cross-country trip and never heard of it. Suddenly, billboard Wall Drug, only 507 miles away. The duck. Okay. Then again. Wall Drug. 330 miles. My 15-year-old self couldn't deal with it. I was giggling and pointing at every Wall Drug billboard there was. 287 miles. 250. 223. 198. 150. 137. 111. 99. 87. Only 82 more miles to Wall Drug. By this point I have whipped my younger siblings into a frenzy. My parents are getting amped too. What is this magical drug store? And as you said, they advertise free ice water on every sign. I'm getting at that it. As soon as possible. 70 miles. 67. 62. 58. 49. 36. 25. 10. 9. 7. 5. 4. 2. 1. Wall Drug is here. I don't even care / really remember what was inside, though I do remember getting ice water. The anticipation was the experience. You don't know what it is. But you stumble out a few hours later dazed, confused, and quite a bit poorer. Honestly, it's worth it. I love my Wall Drug it. Some jaded ass people in this thread. Don't go see the Leaning Tower. Go. It's just a tower that, like, leans. There's all these other towers that don't lean. The duck you wanna go see some cracked bell for. I mean, it's just a bunch of rocks standing on top of each other in a circle. I can do that in my backyard. Have you people got no respect for Methodiking history? Yes. Plymouth Rock is just a rock. You don't go there to look at a rock. You go there to stand where your ancestors may have stood. where some of the first European settlers established themselves in the New World. And just be there and appreciate the historical significance of the place. Who gives a shit if you're surrounded by other people taking pictures and junk? It's about you and your experience. Okay. Plymouth Rock is a bad example. My point stands. Damn it. Plymouth Rock is actually bullet though. A lot of the stuff you said makes sense, but Plymouth Rock isn't even really where the pilgrims landed. It literally is just a rock with 1620 carved on it. Heh. Touche. That's a bad example, I'll concede that one. Sticking by my original point, though. Little Ducking Mermaid. Copenhagen. What an unbelievably underwhelming piece of crap. Fun to go down there and watch all the disappointed Chinese tourists though. I don't get why people think it should be anything more than it is. It's just a statue slightly smaller than human size. If the tourists even gave an actual crap about the author of the fairy tale, they should go visit his house, which is in another city. They'd be disappointed in that too. Because it's just a house. At least it has a museum attached. With more stuff, that is also just stuff. At least it has a museum attached. With more stuff, that is also just stuff. I mean, couldn't you say that about most museums? Nothing. Rome is great. You can get lost in the most city street and still be surrounded by history and art. Seriously. I was wandering around and would stumble upon an amazing cathedral or fountain or something that would be a highlight in any other city, and I'd take a look at my tourist map to find out what it was called to discover that it didn't even make it onto the tourist map. Incredible architecture everywhere you look. Rome is awesome. Edit typo. Try Venice. Every few buildings is a more grand cathedral than the last. Also, take a few steps down an alleyway and suddenly the food gets cheaper. Better. And don't have those stupid seat charges. I feel like people put too much stock in London as being the place to go about British history. We are an island nation but extremely diverse. Regionally there's a lot of variation. Going to London and thinking you've seen it all would be like going to New York and thinking you've seen it all about America. Also, foreigners, stop trying to get shot and killed by the Queen's Guard. They aren't for show. They are real soldiers who can and will put your ass down. As an American, being shot by police makes me feel more comfortable in a foreign country. As an American, I have been building my resistance to higher caliber bullets by getting shot by the police as regularly as I can. I'm now immune to .50 calibers with this method. Not ridiculously hyped up, but got to say the Harry Potter platform 9 3/4 thing at King's Cross Station. It's not even on a platform anymore, it's been moved to some random part inside the station. I suppose for people to use it without having to buy a ticket go through a barrier, but there are sometimes the most ridiculous queues just to get a photo with it. It's because they redesigned the layout of the entire station. When they first put it in it was on the wall between platforms 9 and 10. But then they put all the platforms behind barriers and built a shop to get more money out of people. Yes, I know. I guess maybe because I'm used to seeing it every day I commute, I just don't get the hype. It's so quiet sometimes as well, I couldn't imagine queuing for it and some pay for a professional photo. The Mall of America. You know what? We should travel halfway around the world to Colders, Minnesota to go shopping at this oversized mall. I'm sure that they must have goods that cannot be purchased online. Having lived in Minnesota, I can tell you the mall is awesome to shop at. I wouldn't make it my primary tourist destination though. I mean, it's a shopping mall, what more did you expect? Being from not Minnesota, malls aren't really all that interesting, no matter what they have going on. There aren't any, because there aren't any tourist attractions. I haven't actually seen an actual, touristy tourist at home. Greenland, by the way. I saw a picture of a town in Greenland, and right next to the town was an iceberg 10 times the size. I want to go just to see if that is true. The American side of Niagara Falls. Always crowded with tourists and you don't even get a great view. Go over the border to the Canadian side for a much better view. I'm a Canadian who's never been to the American side, but I was going to say Niagara Falls in general. Don't get me wrong. The horseshoe and the curtain Falls are both beautiful natural wonders, but literally everything around it is tacky as it. Ugly casinos, ugly hotels, ugly tower, and don't even get me started on Clifton Hill. I'm sure if you look up tacky tourist trap it will just point you to that. And everything is overpriced. Every restaurant, chip stand, and itty souvenir shack wants twice the normal price for things that cost far less in any other city I've been. And I tourists. By all means, see the falls. They're beautiful. But be warned of the tourist city that surrounds it. If I had my way the whole area would just be a park. No development. Just the rainbow bridge and natural beauty of Niagara Falls for 2 kilometers in every direction. Yes. Go look at the falls then stay in Niagara on the lake. If you are enjoying the video please give a thumbs up and leave a comment. Hollywood Walk of Fame. Even worse. The Canadian Walk of Fame. Till that exists. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can watch together.